Okay guys, I told you that I would try to teach you how to do calligraphy, and really I'm kind of learning as well. But I did make this really nice template that's going to come in handy for me because I want to practice bigger letters instead of really tiny letters. If you want smaller letters, then you can go ahead and just measure with a ruler. But this is 3 by 11 inches. I just made it from a Cheerios box and cut it straight with one of those like scrapbook cutters. And I'm just going to trace the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to slide it over to the side, and I'm going to put a mark on that side and a mark on this side that matches up with my middle black line. Then I'll scoot that down and make sure both edges are on the black lines. And then that way I have my lettering part. So I have out this really cool book that I'm using for it, and it's got lots of really good information. It is super thick. And part of what it said is, here's a picture of all the tools that you can get and use to do calligraphy. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't have any of those. I do have a brush, but that's about it. So what I do have are markers. And the cool thing about these is you can have thin lines and thick lines. So I've got my thin tip, but I've also got the thick line like that. So it can be used as a calligraphy tool. And let's just take one of them. We'll just start with the alphabet, and we're just going to start with the letter A, okay? And what I'm doing is I've got the top and the bottom, and I'm going to start up. So for the A, I'm going to come across with a fat line. So just like that. And then I'm also going to take it down and up there. So do you see how the thick went down, but as I turned it, I kept my angle the same way. And as you go down and push up, then it gets you that skinny line like in calligraphy. So that was 1, 2, 3. We're going to go down with a fat. And then over that way, and 5 is also this way. So this one right here is, as you can see, it's more of a thick style calligraphy writing. But what you can do is you can kind of play around with the pen. And also you can always just write on with pencil first how you'd want to do it. So I'm just going to flip through and see if we got, let's take a look at maybe, all right, here's crazy fancy fun stuff. So take a look at the letter D right there. So it goes skinny, fat, kind of skinny, fat, and then skinny again. And you can just make it fancy. However, I don't really want to try freehanding that D. I'm afraid that I might mess up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my pencil and super light, I'm going to look at my D. And by the way, you guys can Google different calligraphy fonts and it'll bring up what it looks like, and then you can use those to draw here. After reading about this stuff, mainly it just takes practice, finding something you like and then just doing it over and over again, and you'll be able to come up with some really fun scripts. But for my D, so I'm just going to lightly sketch out where I want my D to be. And it is good that I did that because right here, and you can sort of see it right there, I went over too far. So I'm just going to erase that, and because I drew it very, very light, I just kind of rested my pencil on the paper instead of pushing down. I was able to erase what I didn't want and then draw it in the way that I do want it, and then get my back of my D right there. So now I have an idea of where I want my D to be. I'm going to take my pen and wish me luck. Hopefully I can make this look like it. So first of all, I'm going to start with it angled, so I just have the skinny tip, and then it's going to go flat on the broad side of it. So did you see how I went from skinny to broad to skinny to broad again? And then for the back side, I just want to take the flat side of it because I want that to be really thick. And then on the inside of this one, it's got these little squares. They're, if you were using an actual nib that was a calligraphy nib, they are about that wide, and you would just do a square made with them. So I'm going to make my square with the broad side of my marker. And then I can also kind of cheat by filling it in a little bit, making it a little bit bigger. And I think I want, so here's the fun thing. You're the artist, you get to do whatever you want, right? So for my D, I want it to be a little bit more fancy. I'm gonna create an echo line on the inside of it that blends from the top to the bottom. I think I liked it better before, but you know, get out some of the junk mail and practice on the back of letters that you get that your mom's just going to throw away. That way you're not wasting good paper, and just have some fun with it. And I'll try to put together a few how-tos with these, and I'll upload the pictures on a Google slide to the Google Sites.